Obviously, like everything got rocked the last 18 months. Marketing did. It's completely different today. Yeah, we're going back to seminars. Those will always be here, but there's going to be elements of virtual now. So can we connect the same as we did before? That's really the big question. I'm going to start with a story. Before I do that, show of hands, does anybody ever had a dog in the room? A dog. Have you ever owned a dog? Is there any like dog lovers? Like yep, a couple. My hand's up. When I was a kid, my dad was a police officer, and so he changed shifts a lot. I was in sports. We had an RV, so we traveled a lot, and I wanted a dog so freaking bad. And there were 2 times that it fell into my arms, and it was like wrapped in a bow that said Richie on it. The first one lasted like 30 seconds. Dad said, nope, it's got to go. The second one, I had it for a week because my dad was, he was hunting. Had it for a whole week. Cutest little freaking puppy. My mom's like, maybe he'll see how much you love it when you get back, and he'll let you keep it. He said that dog better be gone by the time I get out of the shower. So I grew up just like, I'm getting a dog. So 2008, I proposed to my now wife, and I enlisted in the United States Air Force, and I go up to training, and it lasted about 9 months. So 7 months in, I come home, I get married, I fly back, and then 2 months later, I go home. I finally have my orders. So I didn't know where we were going to go at this point. I just enlisted. I said, I'm going to do my duty. I know what I'm good at, so I kind of had a category. So I go home, 2 months married, give the papers to my wife. She goes, oh, it's got to be Hawaii. It's got to be Italy. Something exciting. I hand her it, and it's Minot, North Dakota. So why not Minot? Freezing's the reason. Yep. Minot, North Dakota is 30 minutes from Canada. It's middle nowhere. It's freezing. But, we've got a good relationship. We're high school sweethearts, and my wife got excited, and it really kind of got me excited. We went up there. This is on our way up. That's our first house, and you can tell it was back then because we have DVDs in the back. And so, we're up there. We're in Minot, and there was a store in town that was called Pet Parade, and there was this sign in the front. And anytime that they would have a new, breed, they would put that on there. It would be, Shih Tzu or Golden Retriever, whatever it was. I wanted a Rottweiler because when I think of a dog, I didn't get one growing up. I want the most badass dog I can find. So Rottweiler it is. And I went to, my uncle had a German Shepherd that hated everybody. It was vicious, and he kept it outside. And if you peek through the blinds, it's like growling at you. But then my uncle would go out and hug it and like love on it. And I just thought that was so cool. So Rottweiler's what I want. Every time we pass this place, I tell my wife, if it says Rottweiler, we're buying it. Year and a half goes by, no Rottweiler. So we're in town. I say the same joke. I'm going to buy it if it's on there. She says the wrong word. She says, I dare you. She laughs it off. There's Axel. So we go by Pet Parade. It says Rottweiler's on there. Axel's my dude. Fell in love right away. I mean, he ran over to me, kissing my face. He walked away for 1 second to go poop, and he came back and kissed my face again. So if you're a dog person, that's pretty awesome. And I just fell in love with this guy. So fast forward to today. This is 2021, earlier this year. What you have to know about when we got Axel, let me back up a slide, is my wife and I decided early on we were going to have kids pretty early. Just because I want to have kids now, enjoy them, and then they'll be in college and off when we're still young and can do stuff. And so 2009, we get pregnant. We go to the 8-week appointment. Everything's good. We see the ultrasound. We go to the 12-week appointment, and there's no heartbeat. And as a young married couple, it crushes us. And so fast forward a couple months, we get pregnant again. Something happens when you have these like life crises is you could really kind of get in a dark spot, or you can really grow together, and we chose to grow together. So we have another pregnancy, same thing, 12 weeks, no heartbeat. So we're at a point now where I'm like, I don't know if we're ever going to have kids. We want them, but is it going to happen? I don't know. That's when we got Axel. So that's a little bit of backstory of why we connected so deeply with him so quickly. But I already spoiled it. We did eventually have 3 pregnancies after that, all successful, thank God. So we've been married 12 years this last March, together 17. These are my 3 boys, Titus, Tayden, and Tarek, and then Axel, 10 and a half. So just a great family. This is a dog story, though, not a family story. He's just in the middle of everything. I mean, this is Christmas. Kids are opening gifts. You can see he's just there looking at me. You know, he's always hanging out, if you guys can see. You know, if we're doing yard work, he's sitting there watching. If we're hanging out on the bed, he's there. You know, same thing. If I'm grilling, he wants to know what I'm grilling. But in all these pictures, and really the truth is, my wife will say it, I'm his person. He's my dog, I'm his person, and he's always looking at me. No matter where we're at, he wants to know what I'm doing. So 2021, this is my office where he liked to be because he could look out the front window. We go on a day trip, my family does. I take the kids to a water park to celebrate a decision my son made. And we're gone most of the day. We come back home, and something's off. I don't really hear Axel. It just feels weird. So I open the office, and he's laying like right here where there's just floor, and he's looking at me. He's excited, but he's not getting up. So I know right away, you guys know where I'm going. He's 10 and a half years old. He's a Rottweiler. They only live 8 to 10 years. And so he had some health concerns, and I know that this is probably something serious. And I knew that because I picked him up to get him up, and he had never let me pick him up in 10 years. But he had such a sigh of relief in his body. I could feel the stress go away when I helped him. So we had some vets come over for the next couple of days, and then it was pretty clear. He had a spinal problem that was really starting to infect his limbs, and his arms were curling, and he was going to be in pain soon. So early, it was in March 28th, I had to say goodbye to my boy, and if you've done that before, it rips your heart out. It rips it out in a way I didn't expect. And I always told Andrew, I'm taking a week off when this happens. I'll probably take a month. And I thought I was joking, but I was serious. I had to take a week, and I needed it. I feel like as parents in the room, grandparents in the room, one of the greatest gifts we could give our kids is emotional confidence. Now, I'm a millennial, and I probably just lost some of you in the room. You're like, I'm not listening to this guy now. But I'm not talking about entitled emotions. I'm talking about God-given feelings, that when things happen in life, you pick yourself up and you deal with them. And so I brought my boys through that journey with me, and so we built a casket for Axel, and they drew some pictures. A few more here, so there was the final product. My office is in that window in the back there, so we buried him right out front. Almost hit a power line. I got really lucky because I jammed a shovel in the ground, and I hit it, and I went, oh. So it didn't, no damage. So spray painted a heart, and we prayed together, we laughed together, we drew pictures. And the boys are just so involved and sweet with it. Oop. Well, the middle one's not coming up. So there's where he lays now. He's got his tombstone. But I got to talk about my son Titus. He's 9 years old now. He's my oldest. He was 8 when this happened a couple months ago. He is just a very particular dude, like very, very loud, very confident. You know, he's the kind of guy that if you give him dessert, he'll save it until after dinner. Like he will have a specific spot for his possessions. Nobody's going to touch it. It has to be exactly the right way. Very, very smart. He bought a fireproof safe with his birthday money, like to just take care of his stuff. So just funny like that. But I had a moment where, I'm going to get not too detailed, but where I had to say goodbye to Axel, and it was the Lap of Love Lady, not Lap of Lady Love. That's a different story. Lap of Love Lady is who we had come over to the house, and so she, you know, it was beautiful. And my younger 2 kids went upstairs, but my wife and my oldest son and me were downstairs saying goodbye. So Axel took his last breath. The lady leaves, and there's this moment where I know what I have to do, and I have to get him in these bags so we can wrap him and get him in the casket. And I had a moment where I lost it, because I know when I put him in there, I can't touch him anymore, and I can't smell him. And it hit me, and I lost it, like I'm trying not to do now. And my son doesn't get super emotional because he's, like I said, he's kind of a logical dude. And he goes upstairs, and he does have some emotions on his face, and I know we're connecting, and he's supporting me. He goes upstairs, and he comes down. He has something in his hands, and he hands it to me, and he goes, "Dad, it's okay." And he hands me the sucker. He got this sucker from a girl he likes at the end of second grade. And he was saving it, I don't know for what, but I'm sure it was in the safe. But he gives me this sucker, and in that moment, it was just such a connection moment where human to human, I have feelings and he has feelings, and it was such a support. And guys, it took a sucker. He was there for me, he was in person with me, but he gave me a sucker, and it made an impact where I'm here today talking about a sucker, and you each have one in front of you. And he goes, Dad, when you have a sucker, he's always here with you, and you could always remember him through that. Connection matters. What you have to realize is that you need to make it simple. We're all human beings, and we all have feelings, and you can connect through your webinars, through your podcasts, through your seminars, and that's what's going to get you through 2021 and beyond. RA has a kind of a mantra this year. I think I heard it at church, so I don't want to take credit for it, but it's RA's greatest success is someone else's. And I heard this, and it impacted me, and I took it back to the team and to Andrew. We've fed into it, and it is, we work with you guys, but like Andrew said, there's a lot of you guys, and so I don't get to see your individual offices, your individual teams, your businesses as much as I would like to, but we know that when you meet with the people that we had a small part in generating, and you're successful, that's our success. And that's the way that we teach our team, and we breed that into them. We don't breed it, that'd be weird, but we talk that into them, we speak that into them. But what I want to submit to you guys is that's also your reality. You guys are meeting with people like my parents who are retired, enjoying life because of what you guys do. So pare it back. Make it a little bit more simple going into 2021 and beyond, and just understand that connection is what matters, and that's the difference maker.